Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to take the time today to talk about our community, the Afro-Caribbean community. One thing, as you all know, I'm in real estate, and in my last video, my goal is to get 100 of us Afro-Caribbean foreigners into a home by December 2026. So I wanted to do something different today and talk about homeownership. Okay, the black homeownership here in Charlotte is about 43 to 46%. Yet within that, the Afro-Caribbean community is still falling behind the city average. My mission is to push this number high. I wanted to do everything to help us with homeownership. Because for us, homeownership is not just about having a roof over our head. It is also about building a legacy and a generational wealth. So today, I will take a moment to go over my own experience as a foreigner coming here from Togo, and then just kind of go back and use my dad, for instance, or my stepdad, and then just walk you guys through the 4 reasons why I believe we are falling behind and things that we need to close the gap. The goal is to close the gap. My mission is to help us close that gap. So that's what we're going to discuss today. I hope you have your coffee. I already have mine. And let's talk about how we can close the gap of homeownership, one step at a time. Welcome to the channel, guys. In case you don't know, my name is Daniel Kumu. I'm a local realtor here, your favorite African realtor here in Charlotte. And in today's video, let's talk about 4 reasons why we are falling behind in the home ownership, discuss what we need to do to get back on track and close the gap in the home ownership. Without keep you guys waiting, let's start with reason number 1, the lack of knowledge. Migrate to the United States and starting from zero is to compare it is like starting a new business. You don't know if you want to be a sole proprietor, an LLC, a corporate, a partnership. You don't know that. That's the same thing we went through moving into the United States. So my dad moved us here with my brothers and sister years back, 20 plus years ago. When we first moved to the United States, we came from a country that French was our first language. So moving in here, not knowing how to speak English, not knowing where to start, you just don't know what you don't know. So for us at the time when we first moved here, we don't even know where to start, okay? And not knowing where to start, buying a home or even thinking about owning a home is not even on the radar, and you just don't have the knowledge. You don't know anything. So not only do we have to learn to speak English and be able to communicate, we have to know how to live in the United States, okay? We came here with nothing, so we have to learn how to live. We have to learn how to survive, and before you can even think about owning a home. Now, owning a home at that time for us was the American dream, and owning a home for all foreigners is the American dream. Can you attain that goal or that dream? 100%. Okay, but not knowing what you don't know made it more of a Mount Rushmore, whatever you want to compare it to. That's how difficult, that's how big that dream was for us at that time. So the lack of knowledge is one of the reasons why a lot of us, a lot of the Afro-Caribbean, a lot of the foreigners, we are falling behind in that home ownership. Now, my next reason why we are falling behind in that home ownership goes hand in hand with the lack of knowledge. As I mentioned to you guys, we moved here. My dad moved us here to the United States years ago. We have to learn English. We have to learn everything, go to school. I mean, even just to go to a grocery store, learn how to communicate or get change. And those are all foreign to us. We didn't know anything. Now, the next thing that I believe is not helping us in those situations too is having the proper support or proper mentor, okay? One thing that I'm so grateful for, my dad is a homeowner. He was able to find somebody. So just to kind of tell you a little story about my dad, for instance, when he first moved here, we didn't have anything. So he ended up getting a job as a janitor at a 911 center in the town that we were living in. One day he was sitting outside on his break, taking a break, and the boss, or I don't know what he is, the boss or the director, whatever it is taking a small break at that that time too. So he came out and sat with my dad outside and they started talking. Rewind my story back a little bit and tell you guys this. So when we first moved here, we moved just like everybody. We live in New York. And then I don't know who told my dad, because French is our first language, to move to Maine. One reason why he advised my dad to move to Maine is also because there's a lot of French Canadian, and having French Canadian in Maine will help at least ease his way to navigate living in the United States. So fast forward to when he was on break, he happened to, the director of the 911 center in our town happened to be a French Canadian who spoke French. Now, the French from Canada is totally different French, but at least you can still communicate in French. So the guy happened to start talking to my dad, knowing that my dad can communicate well in English, asked my dad where he's from, what language he speaks, and my dad ended up revealing to him that he's coming from a French country, French is his first language. The guy surprised. He was stunned that my dad spoke French, because in Maine, there were not a lot of African-American or Afro-Caribbean population that spoke French. The only people that spoke French in Maine were the Canadian descent population. So long conversation short, they became good friends. The guy having something in common with my dad, because my dad was previously in the military. The guy was in the military prior, and they became good friends. Okay, that's how my dad met his first mentor or support. Because of that support, he got my dad connected with some of the best people in our town. My dad, within a year or two, was able to acquire a home. Okay, something that he would have not done if he didn't have the opportunity to meet that person. So the support or having the mentor is very powerful if you first move to the United States, because it is a land that is very hard to navigate through. And if you don't have the right people within your corner, you will be stuck where you started from. It is hard to make your way without the proper support or mentor here in the United States. So that was reason number 2 why we are falling behind. So if you're one who just moved to the United States and you still fall within this category as a foreigner, the best you can do, for one, seek for knowledge. 2, find somebody you can rely on, you can depend on, you can ask for advice, because there's many programs out there that can help with a lot of things. Okay, I'm speaking of homeownership, but there's many things you can do by having those knowledge. Now, the third reason why I feel that our community is falling behind is the comfort. Let me go back to my scenario. For instance, my dad is still living in the same home that he bought by then. My older brothers and sisters still living in the same places they have been in. Yes, I have moved, we have purchased home, we have purchased investment property. One reason why is because I have accepted to step out of my comfort zone. As foreigners, we tend to live in that comfort. We tend to be comfortable where we are and just live there. One reason why, the fourth reason in this video, the fear. Okay, coming to the United States alone is very daunting. And we came here and we have a lot of fear that's built up when it comes to taking risk in the United States. Okay, so we tend to settle in our comfort zone, and because we settle in our comfort zone, a lot of opportunity go by that we missed on. So if nothing else, fear and comfort is the other 2 reasons that hindered us from moving forward toward closing that home ownership gap as well too. So going back and just kind of recap some of the stuff that I just discussed. 1, lack of knowledge. As I mentioned to you guys, when we first moved here, even me going to high school at that time, I had to take ESL classes. I have to learn English all over for me to speak English. And now I came here not knowing even one word in English. So I have to seek that knowledge. I have to put myself out there to learn. Second, the mentor. I was able to buy some investment property a few years, but I would say 7 years or so ago, okay? Maybe 10 years ago. We bought our first investment property. How did it happen? It happened by me talking to a guy and say, hey, at that time I just started real estate. I have a client who has a property that they're looking to sell. I don't believe that this property is in a condition to go on the market. And mind you, I just started real estate at that time. I don't know, no knowledge about investing or anything, nothing whatsoever. That mentor, that support told me, if you feel that that property can't go on the market, why don't you acquire that property? It could be an investment property. It could be something. And a light came on my head. Oh, I can afford to buy an investment property. And that person helped me, guide me through the process of acquiring that first investment property. Okay. It was not just one person. It was not just two persons. It was many people that have helped me throughout the process of acquiring investment property. Do we have multiple investment property now? Yes, we do. Why? Because I have many mentors, many support people that help and that guide me through what I need to do. Each step, there's always a hurdle. There's always a step. Because I was able to accept the faith of stepping out of my comfort zone and face the fear and take risk, I was able to get those properties. So it can happen to all foreigners or the Afro-Caribbean family. Yes, all we need to do is just step out of that comfort zone and face the fear. There's a lot of fear, especially as a foreigner coming into this country. It is a lot. It is our culture, our mindset is different. Yeah, in this country, if you can make it, you can make it here. There's a lot of opportunity out there to make it. It's just a matter of us taking a risk to step out of our comfort zone, and a lot of things can happen. So today's video, I just want to talk about some of those reasons that are hindering us for attending or closing that gap, that homeownership gap. Because if you want to listen to this video, I wanted to let you know, I mean, you may be here for 6 months or a year. Yes, buying a home within that first year or 2 years is possible. Okay. Very possible. My stepdad came here. He lived in an apartment just for 1 year. He was able to buy a home. Why? Because I was behind him. I didn't give him the option at that time. Yeah, I didn't give him an option because it was a property that we found. He was living in an apartment, paying $700 a month on that apartment at the time with my mom. We found the property. My wife and I were gonna try to invest in it and turn it as a rental. Then I asked him, hey, why don't you acquire this property? You may be $100 or $200 more monthly income, payment, but it will be something that you own. Believe it or not, we have other family, other foreigners like that discouraging from buying that property at the time because they felt that it was in a bad side of town. It wasn't worth moving into that. It was an older home. You don't need to move there because it's not safe there. Every reason to discourage my stepdad from buying that home. Because I was behind him, and granted, because I was the one who helped him move to the United States, I didn't give him no choice. I told him, you have to buy it or you don't have no choice but to buy it. And I encourage him and I show him the rope to buy that property. Okay. Fast forward a few years now, that property, he has hundreds plus thousand worth of equity. The same property that he bought back then, now they're selling over 300,000. He probably owned less than 100,000 on that property. If he would have felt himself sure by listening to others or don't buy that because it's not safe or it's not in a good side of town, he would have still be living in an apartment now in Charlotte. The same apartment he was living in, they just built an apartment right next door or not too far that are going for $1,700 a month. He wouldn't be able to afford that. So homeownership, going back to the video, is something that I take dear to my heart, and I wanted to make sure that whatever we do, we help each other toward the homeownership. We wanted to close the gap. We wanted to be able to empower each other toward this homeownership. So if you want to listen to this video, it might be your first time, maybe a second time, you may be here just for a year, you may be here for 5 years, you may be here for 10 years and you don't know where to start, reach out to me, 704-904-5152. I'm very passionate about getting us in a home. I'm very passionate about homeownership. The feeling of sitting down and signing the paper, knowing that this is your home, is a feeling that nobody can take away from you. So I wanted to empower all to, it don't matter. For me as a real estate agent and what real estate have done to me, I wanted to be able to share that with everybody, okay? It's not going to be easy, I can tell you that now. It is a lot of hurdle, it is hard, it's an adventure, yet there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and that light is very bright. If you have the strength to pull through, it will make you feel well fulfilled at the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was something I just thought about. It's Friday. I was about to leave the office and I figured I'd come here and do this video and talk to others just like me, foreigner that you just moved to the United States, you don't know where to start, and just kind of let us know that the American dream is possible, one step at a time, and I'm here to help throughout the whole process. So if you have any question, as I mentioned, give me a call, 704-904-5152, and more than happy to help with the process any way I can. For me to help guide through the home buying process. 100 people. The goal is to get 100 people in the home by December 2026. So I'm counting on you. I'm depending on you to help me reach that goal and get 100 family in the home by December 2026. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.